will be discussing in your module 2 is Hadoop ecosystem. In this one, the first main important features what we will be using is Scoop. Scoop is mainly used to import and expose the data between your HDFS and your RDBMS. That means that what we can do, it acts as an interface. It acts as your interface between the two things. One is nothing but your HDFS. HDFS is nothing but Hadoop distributed file system. I'll repeat once again. What do you mean by HDFS? HDFS is nothing but your Hadoop distributed file system, and RDBMS is nothing but your relational database management system. That means that interface is nothing but the communication. For example, if you look in the various hardware or the operating systems, all those things. In the operating systems, what is the main operations we are going to do? It acts as an interface between your hardware and the applicational part. Like that, what we will be doing in the Scoop means it is mainly used to import and export the data. Import and export the data means basically we will be loading the input. After loading the input, to extract the output. So for that particular case, we will be using one particular interface. That interface we use to say it as what? Scoop. In your examination, they are going to ask the question like this. Define the following. The first one they will be asking soup. Next they are going to ask pig or HBase, phi or flume. Each definition they may carry 2 marks, so that they may ask for 5 definition for the 10 marks. So the next topic what we will be discussing is pig. Pig is nothing but your procedural language platform used to develop a scripts for the map reducing operation. See, this particular procedural language platform means this all those things you have come across in your machine learning in the 7th semester, as well as you have studied Python, all those things. Whenever we used to write the programming, so we used to make the script. For example, if you want to create one particular student database, for example, I'll repeat once again. If you want to create the database of the student in the DBMS, how you are going to write a query? Create table, table name, attributes of the students. You can have what? Student name. You can have student USN. You can have ID, you can have all those things. These are the various attributes. So that means that what we are going to do in this particular case, especially in the Hadoop, we will be writing the programming in terms of scripts. So scripts means basically in the Python also you know how to write the scripts, or in the Unix, in the simple words if I'm going to tell means in the Unix also, most of the cases we will be using the commands and we will be getting the output, and we are going to get the output. So this pig is nothing but one procedural language platform. Now you are in the 8th semester. Till now you have studied many programming languages. Starting from your first semester you have studied C. After that C++ you have studied, Java you have studied, Python you have studied, and DBMS, that is nothing but your database management system, or CG. In the CG you have come across Microsoft Visual Basic you have studied. So like that, irrespective of the programming language, irrespective of the software what you're going to use. So based upon, for example, whatever the code block we will be using, we will be writing the program in terms of C programming, all those things. The same code block I can't use for your DBMS software. Sir?
Lochan, ಯಾವ subject?
Sir, big data analytics, sir. 5 modules complete ಆಗಿದೆ, ರಿವಿಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಸರ್. ನಿನ್ನೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಯೂಲ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಇವಾಗ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಯೂಲ್ ರಿವಿಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ.
Analytics, okay. Code ಏನು?
Sir, 17 CS 82 sir.
17 CS 82.
ನೀವೇನಾದ್ರು ಹೇಳಿ ಸರ್, ಹೇಳಿ.
ಏನಿದು?
ಸರ್ ಈಗ ರಿವಿಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. 5 ಮಾಡ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ವೀಕ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಯ್ತು. ನೆನ್ನೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಯೂಲ್ ರಿವಿಷನ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಇವಾಗ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಯೂಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಸರ್ ರಿವಿಷನ್.
CO5 ಅಂತ ಹಾಕಿರ್ತೀನಿ.
ಏನ್ ಸರ್?
CO5 ಅಂತ ಹಾಕಿರ್ತೀನಿ.
ಹಾ ಸರಿ ಸರ್. ಪೋರ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವಾರ ಐ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ರಿವಿಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಇನ್ನೇನು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ.
ಯಾವ ಬ್ಯಾಚ್ ಇದು? ಇದು ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್
ಸರ್ 8th B ಸರ್.
8th B, ಓಕೆ. 70 to 21 ಬ್ಯಾಚ್ ಅಲ್ಲ? ಹೌದು
ಸರ್.
ಓಕೆ ಪಾ.
ಸರ್ ನೀವೇನಾದ್ರು ಕೇಳೋದಿದ್ರೆ ಕೇಳಬಹುದು ಸರ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ನ.
ನಾನು ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ನೋ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು. Okay, we will continue. So in the next is nothing but your HBase. HBase is nothing but the distributed column oriented database. See, whenever we are going to make use of DBMS concept. So DBMS concept means generally we will be knowing that we will be making use of rows, we will be making use of columns in terms of tuples, all those things. So whatever the attributes we are going to get, whatever the database you are going to get. So that everything we will be loaded with respect to your H base. It is a distributed column oriented database which is mainly built on the Hadoop file system. Basically, see, one thing I want to tell you that now another 1 or 2 weeks you are going to complete your BE. Whenever you go outside of your college, so they are going to see only the, whenever, for example, whenever you go for an interview, if you show that, sir, this is my degree certificate, there is no value for your degree certificate. That means that what I want to say means, if you know, apart from your degree certificates, you need to learn extra tools, few or more tools, so that you will be getting more opportunities in the industries or outside market, all those things. Many times I used to tell you that what you are going to study in your BE, 98% theory, only 2% practicals you are going to study. But what you are going to learn in the company, that is 98% practical part and 2% is theory. So that means that what we are going to do, we used to give more concentration with respect to the practical knowledge. We used to give more knowledge with respect to the practical knowledge. Then you can ask me, sir, how can I learn practical knowledge with respect to the subjects, all those things? See, one thing I want to tell you that nowadays technology has been improved. If you have mobile phone in your hand or in your mobile phone, internet is there, whatever the thing, nothing we can tell. You can't learn this one, all those things, everything, all the resources the internet will be providing. That in terms of it can be your YouTube, all those things it will be providing. You can go through the tools, because what we are going to study or what we are going to teach in the engineering concept, that is all outdated. I'll repeat once again, that is all outdated. So what you are going to study in the company, that is nothing but further 5 years upgradation you will be studying. That means that what I want to say, whenever you are free or whenever you are free, I'm going to tell, so go through the few tools with respect to the BDA or with respect to the interface design, whatever it may be. So if you learn, for example, if you learn cyber security, or if you learn analytics, or if you learn statistics, the many demands is there outside the market apart from your degree certificate. One more thing, many times I used to tell you that if you have only the degree certificate, no use. If you got CGPA 9.6 or 9.9 also is no use. Apart from your degree certificate, you need to have the additional, I can say it as what, additional skill. Apart from additional skill, you need to have a talent. So then only you can survive in the market, then only you can survive in the industries, all those things. Okay. Why I am telling means, basically whatever the tools we have going to discuss, only one or tools we will be specifying in your module 2. There are many tools with respect to the big data analytics, all those things. So you will in the YouTube, if you are going to search with the practical knowledge, they are going to teach. See, you can ask me in the, especially in the VTU subject, what we are going to design 17 CS 82, we have got only the theory part, only we have specified the theory subject. If practically, if they have made some few programs with respect to 3 programs or 4 programs, we would have been learned much more in this particular case, all those things. But it's not a problem, especially in the module 2, each snapshot they have taken in your textbook. That means that how the installation has to be taken place, how you are going to make an installation, how you are going to make an execution, each and everything they have described nicely in your textbook. That means that each snapshot they have taken and they have shown how the operations will be taken place. HBase is nothing but your Hadoop distributed base. It is a distributed column oriented database which is mainly built on the top of your Hadoop file system. Next is nothing but Phi. Next is nothing but your Phi. It is a platform. It is a platform used to develop SQL type scripts to do the map reduce operation. See, one thing I want to tell you that, for example, let us consider tomorrow Oracle company is coming. Okay, generally I'm telling, it's not coming, just I'm telling, let us consider tomorrow Oracle company is coming. See, whenever the Oracle company is coming, so they are going to think in the only with respect to your DBMS concept, all those things. If that particular guy is making an interview with you, you can't tell him that, sir, I know C, I know C++, I know Java, I know Python, but I don't know the DBMS. Why? Because in the Oracle company, they are going to look only with respect to this query part only. Whenever they are going to develop any product, all those things, they used to write a query. and they're going to develop a product. If you are not strong enough in your SQL part, or if you are not strong enough your DBMS part, how they are going to recruit you? That means that what I want to say, irrespective whatever the programming language you may take, irrespective whatever the software you may take, depending on the companies what requirement they are going to use the software, depending on what the company they are going to prefer with respect to the programming language, you have to be strong enough. Why I am telling this particular example means, in the Oracle software you can't type the C programming, or you can't type C++ programming. In the code block software you can't type your SQL queries, all those things. That means that they have created one particular application for that particular case. For that particular application we need to follow the same programming language, or the with respect to the software, all those things. Next is Flume. Flume is nothing but streaming data. Data is nothing but your informations. We will be having either it can be your input or output. Oozie is nothing but a workflow schedule for the Hadoop. If I want to give some another real-time examples, all those things means, if you see the timetable, for example, Monday first hour BDA has to take. Monday second hour UID should be taken. Monday third hour, which one? IoT subject to be taken. That means that Monday, every week of Monday, that is first hour BDA has been scheduled. Like that, in this particular case, we will be following one particular protocol here, one particular operations. They are all inbuilt. They are going to make a schedule. So in that particular schedule, in that particular task, it has to execute. It has to execute the operations. Okay, introduction to the pig. So pig raises the level of an abstraction for the processing a large amount of the data set. We used to have, whether what I told you that in the pig is nothing but what? Scripting language. So in the scripting language, whether you are going to make use of low level language, or whether you are going to make use of high level language, whether you are going to make use of middle level language, irrespective that particular case. So that means that how much amount of the data it is consuming, how much of amount of the data it has been taken to get the output. Well, that means that analytics, if you see the name itself, analytics means statistics. Statistics means only numericals only you will be getting. We are going to play with respect to the numbers. Yes or no? In the analytics part, we used to play with respect to the numbers. We are going to load the numbers in terms of input, and you are going to get the output in terms of product. That is nothing but we are going to develop the application, or we are going to develop the framework, whatever it may be. So in that particular case, we have to check whether the software is an open source platform which is mainly developed by the Yahoo or not. So next is advantages of the pig. It is reusing the code. It is faster development, lesser number of lines of the code, and schema, type checking, etc. These are all those things with respect to the basic things. Since you are a programmer, you should be able to know how you need to write the program. I'll repeat once again, another 1 month you will become a programmer. What is the main job of the programmer means, if you have 3 pages of program is there, you need to write a program in a half page. That is a skill of the programmer. Simply you can't tell, sir, I am a software tester, sir, I am a software developer, all those things. So if you want to become a good software tester, or if you want to become a good software developer, I told you no, if you got a program, how many page program? 3-page program is there. The same 3-page program, you need to write it in a half-page program with the correct syntax, with the correct output you need to get. That is a skill of the programmer. That is a skill of a tester. That is a skill of the developer. So reusing of the code, what the other guy, the code has been written, the same code if you are going to take, and the same code if you are going to execute, then what is the contribution, what is you are going to get? Yes or no? That means that you have to use your head, you have to use analyze, and you need to write the programming in such a way. Script is nothing but a pig is nothing but mainly scripting we will be making use. Okay, next thing, what makes the pig Hadoop popular? So easy to learn, read and write and implement if you know the SQL. Basically, if you know the SQL, that is nothing but your structured query language. So you can develop a product. So that means that you have to learn, you have to read, and you have to implement. For example, those who don't know the knowledge with respect to the SQL part, and if you're going to tell to develop the product, how they're going to develop the product, yes or no, they need to have the knowledge with respect to your SQL. For example, one particular HR came for an interview. You are sitting in the panel. You will be asking, what do you mean by SQL? So that you are going to tell, sir, SQL is nothing but structured query language. You may tell, what do you mean by Oracle? You will tell, You may tell in the Oracle what are the things you are going to study. You will be telling, sir, we will be studying DDL, we are going to study DML, that is nothing but data definition language, data manipulation language. We will be having certain command, insert command, update command, all those things will be there. So that means that they are going to check the knowledge whether you know the SQL or not. If you know the basic knowledge with respect to the SQL, that is nothing but read, write, implement. Read is nothing but how you have understood. Write is nothing but how you are going to analyze. Implement is nothing but how you are going to develop a product. This is what the three things they are going to look in the HR interview. That is nothing but your technical interview. It implements a new approach of a multi-query. So whenever we used to write a query, we used to write with respect to a single part of the query. So you can execute the multiple queries along with the n number of rows or n number of columns, or with the two particular problems what you are going to get, we can merge and we can get the solution in the one part. I'll repeat once again, you have two different problems you got, okay? The two different problems you are going to combine and you are going to arrive the solution in a single shot. That is nothing but your multi-query, which provides a large number of nested data types such as maps or nothing but tuples or bags, which are not easily available in the map produced, along with the data operations such as filtering, ordering, or the joins. These are the various things we have come across. In the joins you have come across natural join, equi-join, all those things, various joins you have come across. Sorting means we will be getting in the ascending order, you are going to get in the descending order. Filter means we are going to make the radius. These are the operations we have come across in your DBMS concept. That means that whenever you are going to know the analytics, you should be strong enough in your DBMS part. It consisted of a different user group. For the instance, up to 90% of the Yahoo map produce is mainly done by the pig. It is mainly done by the pig. So these are the various social sites we can say. That is nothing but your LinkedIn, Yahoo, Twitter, all those things we will be giving. Okay. Next is nothing but pig Latin comes with the following features. So what are the important features of the pig? It is a simple programming. It is easy to code, execute, manage the program. Better optimization. Better optimization means system can automatically optimize the execution as per the requirement raised. Extensive nature. It is mainly used to achieve the highly specific processing task. Okay. We will be checking that how much task they are given, all those things. Next, data types we will be using, like your in your C program we have make use of integer, character, float, all those things. In your analytics, same thing we will be following the scalar data types what we are going to use in the pig. It can be your integer, float, double, long, character array, byte array, all those things. Okay, in the pig whenever we used to write in terms of scripts, we are going to make use of three things. One is map, one more is tuple, one more is bag. Map is nothing but the data element which mainly consisted of a data type where the element should be included with the data types. That is nothing but, for example, city. If I'm going to take the city, it should be in the characters. Yes or no? City, it should be in a characters. I can't give in terms of numericals. For example, if I'm going to give pin code, it should be in the digits. It should not be in the characters. Like that, we will be looking and we will be giving in the beginning itself. And we are going to tell what characters we need to have and what digits we can have. In this city and pin, the data element mapping the values here. Next is tuples. Tuple is nothing but a collection of the data type. It has a fixed length. We will be having a multiple fields. So like student database, what are the fields you can have? Student name you can have, student USN you can have, student address you can have, like that. We will be classifying the various things. So in this particular case also, the tuples is nothing but collection of your data types and it is defined fixed length. It mainly consisted of multiple fields and ordered in the sequence. Bags, next I am going to take it as what? Bag. It is a huge collection of the tuples. Unordered sequence, tuples which mainly arranged in the bag which is mainly separated by the comma. These are the syntax already we know in the DBMS. Whenever we used to write in terms of queries, we will be following the same procedure. Same thing I will be following here also. So this is how we are going to run the pig program. So scripts, Gunt and embedded. These are the few examples they have taken. Next is Apache scoop. This is very, very important from your examination point of view. They will be asking explain with a neat diagram Apache scoop they will be asking. Scoop is nothing but it is one of the tool. I told you that basically in the big data analytics we used to deal with respect to the tools, especially the module tool. What we will be discussing means most of the cases we will be discussing with respect to the tools only. Scoop is a tool which is designed to transfer the data between your Hadoop and a relational database. So it forms the transferring the data. It forms a transfers between the data between your Hadoop and the relational database. So Scoop is to import the data from the relational database management. Basically, we are going to make use of RDBMS concept along with the HDFS concept. That is nothing but a Hadoop distributed file system. Once again, it acts as an interface. Scoop is nothing but your SQL to Hadoop and Hadoop to the SQL. That is nothing but our interfaces we will be telling. So how it is working, this is what the operation. So most of the cases we are going to make use of RDBMS as your input part. That is nothing but your relational database management system. In this particular case, we are going to make use of MySQL, Oracle, database too. So how the processing it will be doing? The process we are going to get in terms of input and export. That is nothing but we are going to load and we are going to process the operation. Finally, whatever the result you are going to get, that I am going to put it in the HDFS. That is nothing but a Hadoop file system. This one. So basically it acts as an interface between your RDBMS to HDFS, HDFS to RDBMS. Import, what import you are going to make? That is nothing but an input. The import tools individually tables from your RDBMS to your HDFS. Each row in a table it is treated as a record in an HDFS. See, one thing I want to tell you that many if you take student database for the student, if you want to create one particular student database, so many times I used to tell you that what are the things you want in row, student name you want, student USN you want. Next is you can tell the department or you can tell the address. Like that we will be having number of records based upon the how the records you are going to increase or decrease with respect to attribute, that much of size you will be getting with respect to the loading your input tables. So export means how you are going to set the files from your HDFS back to an RDBMS. So it contains the records which are also called as rows in a table. Those are read and parsed with a set of records. So Apache Scoop import and exports the methods. So there are various cases you will be getting. This is what the architecture we will be looking. So whatever the operations you are going to do, that we will be mapping. Once you are going to map, so that we will be sending to the storage, that is nothing but a HDFS. Import is nothing but we will be importing the files. So files, it can be, I told you that. So your RDBMS concept or your SQL concept, what we will be doing in this particular case, or whatever the commands we will be using, no, that all those things we will be. See, one thing I want to tell you that RDBMS is also vast. DBMS, what we have studied now, that is also vast subject. In that particular case, you will be getting many commands, all those things. So DDL commands, DML commands, all those things we have come across. So based upon the client's requirement, what they want, we will be taking and we will be performing the operation. So the export import is nothing but we will be loading and we are going to get the operation. Scoop version you are going to get, like your Oracle 10 version you will be getting, or Oracle 12 you may get, or Oracle 14 you may get. Like that, if you have updating the versions, for example from Oracle 9 to Oracle 10, only some few difference you will be finding with respect to the application. From 10 to 11 you may find some few application difference. So not completely different you are going to get, this few difference you will be finding. So in this particular version also, Scoop version, you will be getting whenever the connectors for your major roles, whether it is supporting or not. Say whenever you are going to install any software with respect to your system, the system has to support with respect to your software. It is a lower version of your system what you are going to use. If the software is a higher version, it will not support. Yes or no? For that one we will be checking what configurations you want, how much RAM you want, how much memory you want, everything, each and everything we will be making a configuration. After configuration we will be start installation. So if you are not looking with respect to that particular case, means whenever you are going to make an installation, you may find the problem, the execution has been not happened, all those things you will be getting. So this is what the few steps we will be performing. First, how you are going to download. Once you are going to download, you will be having a sample MySQL data. So in that particular, how you are going to import the data, export the data, everything you learn in your machine learning concept, importing, exporting, anyhow you got the lab there itself, you have studied. Next is nothing but one more thing, Flume. Apache Flume is a tool or the services or the data integration mechanism for collecting, aggregation and the transporting large amount of the streaming the data such as log files or the events from the various sources to the centralized data stores we will be taking. So what are the things you will be getting in this particular case, whether it is highly reliable or whether it is a distributed or whether it is a configurable tool, everything. See, one thing I want to tell you that once again I'm going to tell you that whatever the software you are going to install in your laptop, so if it is a higher version of the software, if your laptop is not supporting, you may find various problems, all those things. So that means that you have to upgrade your system. You need to upgrade your system. For example, if you have a laptop, basic laptop you got, only the code blocks it may support. So other particular software, for example, SPSS software, big data analytics software, or Scoop tool, whatever it may be, or Flume tool, what we are going to make use of the big data. If it is not supporting, means what you need to do, you have to upgrade your systems. So based upon your upgrading of your system, automatically whatever the software is there, it will be supporting with respect to that particular system. So when it is supporting with respect to that particular system, it will be reliable, it can be distributed, configuration tool. So you will be having the servers to the HDFS. Few commands we will be having: put command. These are the available solutions, that is Facebook, Scrap, Flume. Some of the applications, basically we are going to make use of social media, that is nothing but your e-commerce, web applications. So these are the advantages. The advantages is nothing but how you are going to store the data, where you are going to store the data, whether you are going to store the data in your centralized or whether you are going to store the data in the distributed, all those things we will be looking in this particular case. Whether the flow of data is uniform, whether it will struck in the middle part, whether whatever the request you are going to send, that request has been sent to the server, each and everything we will be checking in this particular part. So Flume is reliable, fault tolerant, scalable, manageable and customizable. So this is what the Flume architecture. So in the left part, what you're going to get, that is log or the event data generator. You will be having the where cloud, you can have Facebook, Twitter, web servers you will be having. In turn, we will be having a Flume. That in turn, we will be performing the operation. We are going to process and finally we will be store it in your centralized storage. In the centralized storage, we will be having your Hadoop distributed file system and Hadoop base we will be using. This is what how the architecture it will be there. Web sources, from source to channel, channel to sync, finally the output you will be getting. So that means that in the previous diagram, if you see, you got a agent with respect to the single agents, multiple agents also you may get with respect to the data generator, collector and operation. Simple input, process, output, that's all. Whatever the output you are going to get, we will be storing the output in your centralized storage. We are going to process, for example, whatever the agent one. For example, I told you that if you want to develop a software, only one person, it's not possible. They have to work with respect to the team. One team, they are going to make use of the requirement. One is for the design, one is for the implementation, one is for the testing, and one more is for the delivery. That all the 5 category we are going to combine and we will be putting in the collector. That means that we are going to make a consolidation. Finally, whatever the output you are going to get, we will be making the consolidation. Why we are going to make a consolidation means whatever the work you are going to get, that particular work we will be dividing to each member. Whenever we are going to divide the work, automatically the work also will be completed soon. Along with that, no burden will be getting to the person. More burden will not get, only requirement will be concentrating. The other part they are going to concentrate with respect to the other team, all those things. If a single person has to do all those things means it will become a difficult. Agent, what do you mean by agent? So in this particular agent, we are going to receive the data from the clients. Okay, whenever you are going to receive the data from the client, we are going to forward to the sync to the next destination, what operations it has to perform. In this particular case, you will be having a source. Source is nothing but in the previous diagram we have looked. source is there, channel is there, sink is there, agent is there, all those things. So source is a component of an agent which receives the data from the data generator. Data generator is nothing but your client. So users, and transfer it to the one or more channel to the flume, this one. So you will be having several types of the sources. Each source receives, you will be having a data generator. Facebook example, it can be your Facebook, web source, all those things. Channel, it is a transiting store which receives the agent from the source and buffer them till it consumes the sink. It acts as a bridge between your source and the sinks. When it comes to the transactional, we will be checking whether the complete flow it has been taken or not. For example, I am going to tell one real-time example. You have a pen drive, okay? In that pen drive, you have some images, all those things. You want to copy in your laptop. So, well, all the images, if it is copying, it's well and good. If you have a virus, all those things, if it is not copying all those things, the few data you may get damage with respect to that particular case. That means that in the pen drive, you got 10 particular photo images there. The same 10 images it has to copy with respect to the system. That means that the whatever the flow is there from the source to the destination, it has to perform all the operation without any damage or without any loss with respect to the data, all those things. Like your in Java, we used to make use of JDBC, ODBC, all those things. No, same thing, the interface. Sync, it stores the data in a centralized storage like HBase, HDFS. It consumes the data, it may to centralized source. This is with respect to the multi-agent flows. Multi-agent flows. So before reaching the final destination, an event may travel more than one particular agent, multi-hop flow. See, one more thing I want to tell you, that especially in the multi-hop flow means whatever the problem you may get in the real time or in the whenever in the development team or this one, you need to find out an alternate solution. I'll repeat once again, wherever you are going to find out an alternate solution, then the flow will become easy. So for example, if you got some problem, if you think that particular problem, automatically that problem will become more problem. If you find out the alternate solution for this particular problem, what we can do, what is an alternate solution means, it will be easy. For example, you are going to come from your home to the college, there is a block in that particular road. Whatever the normal road you are going to come, they have made a block. So what you are going to do, you are going to find out one more route to come to the college. Like that, in this particular case also, multiple agents will be following the data operation to reach the final destination. An event may travel through more than one particular agent. This is what? Source, channel, sink. That means that from your college, from your home to college, or from your home to your company, company to the college. Like that, source it can be there. So source to the channel, from the channel to the sink, finally it will be moved to the source. If you see in this particular figure, so more than one particular agent you may find here. So from the whatever the previously first sink you are going to get, that sink will be related to the next operation with respect to the source. If you are going to get one more agent bar, whatever the sink bar is there in the second part, it will be having a continuation with respect to the third part. So this is what with respect to the consolidations. Apache 5 features. This is what the architecture we will be using with respect to the user interface. Okay. This is what the architecture, working of 5, data types, Apache, okay, how it is works. So HBase, I'll do it in the next class. If any student, if you got any doubts, if anything you want to discuss, you can discuss. And one more thing I want to tell you, that tomorrow interaction is there with the principal sir. All students you have to attend at 11 o'clock. I'll repeat once again, there is an interaction with the principal sir. QCM meeting is there. So all students, Sahil Singh. Sahil Singh.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. You can tell what is your problem.
I didn't attend second IA, and at that time I sent your application.
Every day I am informing to HOD sir Sahil. HOD sir has to tell me, because I can understand the students' problem, because this week you got a project demo, next week you got an I, that coming week we will be giving the examination form, all those things will be there. But every day I am informing to the HOD sir. HOD sir is also trying to contact with the principal sir. Principal sir is not there from the last 2 days. So that is the thing. Once sir has been informed, so that I'll convey the information to you. Parallelly, you will prepare for your third IA. You more concentrate on your third IA. We will tell
Okay.
what to be done.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
What about other students? If you got any doubts, you can ask me. Anything you want to ask. But
Sir?
tomorrow, tell me, Pooja.
ಇದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟರ್ನಲ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಷನ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಶಿಪ್ ಸೆಮಿನಾರ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಮೇಜರ್ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಗೆ.
So till now they have not given any information. First you write the theory part. Theory subject is there now. First 3 subject is confirmed, that is offline. First you complete these 3 subjects. After that they may provide one more circular. Before completing your examination, they may provide one more circular regarding this one. Because you don't have first internship or the project now. First you got the theory examination. First you concentrate on your theory examination. Parallelly they may provide the circular to how they are going to conduct, whether they may conduct offline or whether they are going to conduct the online. They will be telling before your examination complete.
Fine sir, thank you sir.
What about other students? If any students, anything you want to ask, you can ask me. And one more thing I want to tell you, that tomorrow all students has to attend at 11 o'clock. Meenakshi is there?
Yes, sir.
Anything you want to ask Meenakshi?
No, sir.
Netravati?
Sir, good morning, sir.
ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಆಗಿ ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ನು?
ಸರ್ ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ. 1 week ಇಂದ ಹುಷಾರಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್.
Okay. Any other students, anything you want to ask, you can ask me.